Pam here with Be Creative Crafts, and welcome to Off the Hook episode 128, special day and time. All right, y'all. So I did not get this rescheduled until about 25 minutes ago, so I know most of y'all will not get the notification, and that's quite all right. I just wanted to pop on here and show y'all what I've been working on, and show y'all how the temperature blanket's coming along, which I went on to get my temps off of the Weather Channel app or off the Weather Channel website, and y'all, for some reason, all my temps have changed, and I've kept my location the same. So I'm not sure what's going on. Angel said, "Hey, Sandra, welcome in." Had said that she thought maybe they were having some sort of technical issues. So I don't know if they did an overhaul of the site and it like changed the temperatures, but it didn't change most of them by a lot, maybe 1 or 2 temps. But like one day I had a low of 46 and now it's showing a low of 23. So that's a big difference. So I'm going to kind of I'm going to wait a couple of days and then check my temps again. And the only reason I know they changed that drastically is because I had already written down the temps for the first week of March, and now those temps are all different. So Miss Sanja, how are you doing today? Whew, y'all, it has been a wild few days for temperature or for weather. For weather here in Middle Tennessee has been absolutely ridiculous, and I know it's been the same for a lot of places. Wednesday night, I lost count. Like, I don't know how many tornado and thunderstorm warnings that we've had, but it was a lot. Wednesday night, I think we had, like, every time one warning would expire, there was another storm right behind it, so we would get a whole new warning. So it's been wild. But right now it is quiet. Let me look at my little phone here. Let's see if we have any others that are supposed to pop in. Initially it was supposed to go through today. And there's no lightning bolt on it, so that's good. Hey, Noe, welcome in. So we still have a chance of rain today, but there's no thunderstorm warnings, which is fantastic. Initially, it was supposed to go through today, and I'm super glad that it's not. So, and let me send a little message in my group to let them know that I went live. That way, if anybody wants to come hang out with us, they can. First, I have to find it because I haven't posted in it. There we go. Hey, Samantha, how are you doing today? I saw you over at Miss C's. So you're working on another sun bunny and your hands were cramping, and Bonnie gave you some good advice. When your hands start cramping, take a break, let your hands rest. I'm typing, y'all. Hold on. So we're just going to hang out today, probably for about an hour. Show y'all what I've been working on and how everything's going. So, let me see. Do I still have the one here? So the spa sets that I've been working on, I got the little baggies in to put them in. And this is going to be tied better. I just wanted to make sure, basically, that the basket and everything would fit into the cellophane bag. So what it's going to have is it's going to have a face towel and then a face scrubby. And then over here we have some wax melts. And then I have some face scrub. So that's what I've got for that. And then I was also going to put candy in it, but these wax melts are very strong. So I decided that I would wait to put the candy in until the day of. And I've got little like little mesh pouches to put the candy in. So I may even just tie the candy on the outside. Hey, Bedazzle, welcome in. And Samantha says, do you still go live on Thursday? Yes, Samantha, I do. But we had some really bad storms in our area, and internet and power and everything was just kind of up and down. So I didn't want to be in the middle of a live And also we had a lot of thunderstorm warning and tornado warnings, so I just decided to postpone it. And today was the first day that I've been able to feel like I could go live for about an hour without losing power or have a thunderstorm roll through. Because when I was going to do it yesterday, we had tornado warnings again. So I didn't want to have to do that. Now for the wax melts, I bought a two set, and look at those. These are really cute, I thought. And so then I'm just making up little, pouring the wax in, letting it set, and doing them in packs of 3 just to drop in there. And then I have extra ones in case anybody wants to buy a little extra pack to go with it. Somebody's asking me if I'm live right now. Yes, ma'am. So I have been designing a blanket. I've got a new series coming out that's going to be called, I think I'm going to call it Crochet Quilted Afghans. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking traditional quilt layouts and turning them into crocheted Afghans. If I'm doing one, say like log cabin, do I still have that one in here? Yes. Since this one has been around for ages, I'm going to just show y'all how to do the square, which this one's kind of wonky right now, but I'm going to show you how to do the square, and then y'all can twist it and turn it and make it in whatever color you want, and then you'll be able to do the layout however you want. Because, you know, with log cabin, depending upon how you twist it, you get all kinds of different cool design patterns for your finished blanket. And then for another one, I have a quilt pattern that was designed by a friend. I reached out to her to see if she would be okay with me recreating her quilt pattern as one of the blankets to be in this series, and she said she was honored that I chose her, and so I will let y'all know more about that when the time comes. But so I'm really excited about that. That's something that's on the horizon that I will be starting working on after this craft show, which is next weekend. So I'll get started on that. I think I've got it figured out how I'm going to do it. And fingers crossed that it works out the way I think it will. So, hey, Nancy, welcome in. Noe said her mom and I went to the park this morning, had breakfast, fed the ducks. Saw a guy with his cat and a guy doing push-ups on a picnic table. Oh, wow. Yeah. That sounds like a fun morning, though. I don't think it's, let me look. I don't think it's raining at the moment. I know it was a little bit chillier. It's been up in the 80s. Ugh. Let's take a peek. No, it's looking rainy. It's looking rainy, so it probably is raining. Or getting ready to rain. Now I can't get my curtain back shut. There we go. That way y'all don't have a little lightning. So, everybody's welcoming in Miss Nancy. Thanks, y'all. That's so nice of y'all. Samantha, what day do you go live? I go live on Thursdays. I usually go live the second Saturday of the month for Let's Get Crafting, but I'm thinking of swapping that up. My plan is to do that as a premiere. Hey, Cindy, welcome in. But I'm thinking about doing my monthly Let's Get Crafting as a more like a tutorial style or a review, and doing it as a premiere. That way we can still live chat. It'll still be on the same day, maybe not the same time, but if you have your notifications set, YouTube should notify you when I go live. But that way, I know with everybody having, with summer coming up, everybody's got plans. The weather's getting nicer, well, with the exception of this weekend here. People, you know, they're going to want to be out and about and doing things. So I thought maybe if I did it as a premiere, more like a tutorial review style, then more people could catch the replay. But if you are available during the live premiere, we can still chat just like we do during a regular live. So, alrighty, let me show y'all my blanket. And it's going to look a whole lot like it did at the end of February because y'all haven't done anything on it since then. So here it is. Whoop. I I did finish up the gray, and we may have finished up the gray during the last live. I can't remember. That was a month ago, y'all. So the gray here is what's separating each month. And I had thought about ripping it back and doing 2.5 rows of gray instead of 1. But hey, Kimberly, welcome in. So Kimberly, did any of the rain from Tennessee make it over to y'all? Did y'all get any of the rain in North Carolina? I mean, in South Carolina? I know y'all were needing it. Hey, Liz, welcome in. I know South Carolina was in desperate need of rain, so I didn't know if any of this made it to y'all. Let me turn it this way so y'all can't see that one little tail I haven't woven in yet. But so that is the color. Can y'all see it? There we go. That's the colors, how they're pooling right now. Not pooling. How they're falling with the temps. So what did I do with my notebook? There it is. Oi. It's got wax on it, y'all. That's okay, because I've been laying it here. Hey, Izzy. Samantha, why don't you go live on Thursday? I do go live on Thursday, Samantha. I go live on Thursday nights, but this past Thursday I could not go live because it was storming. And Kimberly said, supposed to get some rain later on today. Oh, it says nothing on her screen. Her screen is black. Now it's not black. Maybe I just glitching out. Hopefully everything's good with it. Hopefully y'all can see me. Okay. But I do go live on Thursdays, Miss Samantha. Normally. Thursday nights. Okay, so let me flip my camera here. And I'll show you what my temps are. And then I'm going to show you how it's looking as far as, well, actually, let me show you. Let me pull up the weather channel where I get my temps from. That way it'd be easier for me to just show y'all from what I had written down to what it's showing now. Because it's just, I don't know why. Like I said, Angel said she saw that they had some sort of glitch. So I'm hoping that they'll fix it. Let's see. Did it go back? No, it did not. Why didn't you go back? Okay. Let me do it this way. I'm just getting it pulled up on the other screen, and then I will do a share screen. Inky. What is it? Share screen. Weather channel. And share. Okay, so these are what the temps for March are showing right now for my area. It is showing that on the first here, the high was 59 with a low of 32. Well, when I got my temps back the second week of March, it showed a high of 56 and a low of 23, which is different. And I'm like, okay, did I somehow change the location? Which I didn't. So I'm not sure what was going on. And then on the second, which is down here, it's showing a high of 48, low of 23, which mine was 48 and 28, which is not a big difference. But on the third here, it's showing a high of 64 and a low of 25. But when I got my temps before, it gave me a low of 49, and that's a big difference. So I've already done my cross stitch temperature for the first 4 days. And I did it with a low of 49. And so now I'm trying to decide if I want to go back and change it, because that's a big difference between 25 and 49. The highs have all stayed relatively the same or fairly close, but like on the 4th, I've got a high of 72. My initial one was high of 69. That's going to change my color. So I don't know. So let me go back over here to StreamYard and stop that screen share. And let me show y'all what I'm talking about. Here's my cross stitch. Okay. So for the cross stitch one, actually, you know what? Let me switch the camera. It'll be easier for y'all to see. Samantha said, do my hands hurt when I crochet? Not usually, but sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. And if they do, it's usually because of the hook I'm holding, or I'm holding it too tight. My hand gets all crampy. Then I just have to take a break. Stretch my hands out. But I don't crochet all day, every day. I switch up my... Kimberly said, did I check other weather sites? Well, see, when I first started, I checked 2 different ones, and the Weather Channel and this other one, they had the temps different even then. So I thought, well, I'll just stick with the one that I started with. But like, okay, let me show y'all. But like even now on the Weather Channel, because that's the one I've been using, I went back to January and all the temps are changed from January. So I don't know if they did some sort of system update or what, but it changed all the temps, which is super frustrating. So I don't know. I don't know what it's doing. Lisa said she will be lurking. Awesome. Thank you. Okie dokie. Let me change cameras here. And this one's probably going to be way wonky because, yeah, there we go. There's my little stuffs. Okay. All right, so here are the temps initially. Now let me pull back up the Weather Channel. Samantha says, how do you finish a project with a deadline? I try to work a little bit every day on it, depending on what that deadline is. I just really have to stay focused to work on those. Like I do have all of my, I do have all of the spa sets. I do have all of my stuff made for my spa sets. So I just had to stay on it. I haven't got them all packaged together, but I do have all my wax melts done. And I'm just putting them in these little baggies, y'all. Because this is not something that I do all of the time, and I'm just putting them in little baggies. And then I've got them packaged, and then I've got them in bigger baggies by scent. I'm gonna put them like in a gallon-sized Ziploc bag by scent. So like all of my spicy, my baked apple, my pumpkin spice, my cinnamon spice, all of these are gonna go in a baggie together, just so that because those scents go together. Then I've got all my fruity scents together. Then I've got my coffee scent. Hold on, now I'm dropping these on the floor. Let's not do that. There we go. Okie dokie. Samantha said her deadline is May 31st. Is it a large project? Like if you know, if it's say a blanket. Hold on, let me flip my camera back around because I don't like talking to y'all when I can't see y'all. Hold on. Or when y'all can't see me when we're not talking about. And then we'll come back to this in just a second. Okay. So Samantha, if you're working on a blanket and you've got between now and May 31st, figure out how many rows you would have to do every day so that you're done. I would give yourself like a 2-day grace period. So at least. So like instead of between now and May 31st, do it between say like now and the 28th or now and the 25th. Give yourself a little bit of that way. If you don't reach it one day, you've still got several days to where you can make that time up. So if you're working on a blanket, I'm not sure what you're doing, but if you're doing it, you know, say you need to do 5 rows a day between now and that date, make sure you do that much. Okay, so it's a sun bunny. You could still do it the same. So, you need to do so many rows or so many parts. Like, so if you know you need 2 arms, make sure you do an arm. One arm has to be done by this date, and the other arm has to be done by this date. And make sure you get those done. Same with the legs, the tail, the everything. And then leave yourself enough time at the end, so because you're gonna have to sew it all together. That would be what I would suggest. Like, just give yourself small goal deadlines first. So say so what are we on? We're on April 6th. So how much have you got done? I know you're working on it. So you've got the 4 legs done. Okay. So now then, say between now and, let's see, today's the 6th. I would say between now and Friday, let's say. Then you want to make sure you have the head done or both of his ears done. And then by next weekend, you want to have the head done and the body's a little bit bigger. So then you might want to say by the 30th, have all of his body done, or you see what I'm saying? And then that way you've got the month of May to get them all sewn together. Or if you don't crochet quite that quick, give yourself, 2 weeks to do the head and the ears. Okay, so you have 2 legs done. Okay, so then you need to get the other, do like a leg this week, a leg next week, and you've got both of your legs done. Let's see, Lulu Cindy says she's never done a temperature blanket, but she did watch Ursula crochet one using scrap yarns, and it turned out looking beautiful. Yeah, and I've got, well, it's not really scrap yarns, but I pulled out skeins that I only had like 1 or 2 of, and that's what I used for my color chart. And so that's why it's going to be like super colorful. Okay, so, but as far as the temperatures, let me go back and share that again and show y'all how, let me turn my camera back around so y'all can see how it changed, because it changed pretty, I mean, it just changed. So I'm going to wait a couple of days, make sure that the temps don't change again. I'm not redoing January and February. I'm just going to move forward, starting with whatever the temps are now going forward, and hope that they don't change it again. And if so, then I guess I'll just do that again. And if that's the case, then I probably won't do a current year one again. I will pick a previous year. So like the year I was born or the year my kids were born. You know what I mean? That way, I can get all of the temps for the entire year all on the same day, and I don't have to worry about them changing. Or if they do, I've still got them all, and they'll still flow right, I guess. So let me go back to share screen. Okay, go back over here, switch it back to January, because you can change on the weather almanac on the weatherchannel.com or on weather.com, you could change the month and the year. So you can pick any year. You can pick the year you got married, the year your parents got married, the year you were born. You could even start on your birthday and go forward for the first year of your birth or for someone else. It doesn't have to be a calendar year. You can do it however you want to do it. Okay, so here we are in January. Nope, I'm going to click view first so that it resets everything. There we go. Okie dokie, go back over here. And let me switch my camera back again. Okay. Let me see if I can make these. I don't think I can make a screen share. Let's see. Well, let me swap them. Let's see. Okay, so here's solo layout of this. Okay, so right here you can see on January. Whoop, dropping my pen. Let me zoom down just a little. Okay, so right here on January 1st, the high was 40, and it stayed like this for the first like several months. So, several. These were the temps from January until I came back to get my temps the second week of March. So, and now they're different. Lulu, Cindy, have to go. Much love and prayers. Thank you, Cindy. Have a great week to you as well. So it was 40 and 23, 47, 35, 42, 25. So now let's go look and see what they are now. Whoopsies. Take you out of solo. How do I do that? Exit solo. There we go. And let's make this one solo so you can see it better. I don't think I can zoom in anymore. Okay, so now on the first, it's got a high of 43 and a low of 25, which is different than the high of 40 and the low of 23 that I had before. The second, so I had a high of 48, which I had 47, but now it shows a low of 23, and mine was a low of 35. So that's a big difference. So, and then the next day, not a big dip. Well, yeah, kind of. It's got a high of 46. I had a high of 42. So I don't know what's going on with it. It's just aggravating. So that's why I haven't done much with it. My plan was to film up all weekend getting this caught up, and oops. There we go. What is it doing? Okay. Sorry, hit the wrong button, y'all. So, so my plan was to get this all caught up so that I could do a video for y'all. and then have all of March done. And I was going to do it as a premiere since the weather wasn't cooperating. But then all my temps were different, and I'm like, "Grr." So that frustrated me, so it went into timeout. As you know, things do. So that is where I'm at on the blanket. Let's stop screen share. There we go. Go back to the other camera so y'all could see me, because I didn't get my phone set up so that y'all could see me. There we go. So that is why the blanket is not caught up as of today, because it went into timeout, as many projects of mine sometimes do, because they frustrate me and they go to timeout. So for those that have been following along, or if you're new here and you want to know how I'm doing my temperature blanket, I think I did 3. I did 3 rows of half double, and then each row or each day is half of a row, because I didn't want my blanket to be super huge. So this should be a nice little throw size that it can just hang out on the couch. It's not super wide. Well, it's wide enough that it'll cover you up. So it's wingspan wide is what I call it. I like to do a lot of my blankets by my wingspan. And as I was saying, between each month, I did a row and a half. And if I make another one using this particular pattern, I will probably do 2.5 rows in between each month, just because. Okay, let me turn this one. Actually, let me switch the camera back so y'all can see it better. Hold on. Instead of me trying to hold it up. I know that's what I was saying I was doing a while ago, and then I didn't do it. Okay. Okay. Zoom me back out. Boop, boop. There we go. And my little mousey. Okay. So here, right here, this little tiny stripe, that's my month separator. So it kind of gets hidden in there. Like, you really can't see the separation very well between January and February. And I guess if I really wanted to, like, make it more defined, now would be the time to go back and do it and add another row. Because here's what it looks like when you have at least 2 rows. So on this one, you can definitely see the gray separation between the 2 months. And by doing 2.5 rows, then half of it's going to be 3. So it'll be thicker, but you can definitely see the divide between January and February. Whereas here, it's harder to see because it just blends in. So I know in my heart of hearts, I know that I need to just frog back February, add another row here, and then go back and redo February. Or I could just, going forward, do extra and just leave February. But then it's just gonna have that one little row. So let's go. Where'd my mousey go? There it is. So let me go back. Hey, Susan, welcome in. Let's see. Samantha, am I going to do April's weather? I am going to do April's weather. It's going to be a minute because I've got to wait until I could get my temps what I want them to be. And like I said, if the Weather Channel, if come Monday or Tuesday, if the temps are still the same as they are now, I'm just going to roll with it, and I'm not going back to redo the highs and lows. But I may. But if they don't change, or if they do, if they don't change, I will pull back out this day, because a low of 46 and a low of 23 are very different. Very different. So, and I can't remember back on that day and at the beginning of March what the low was, but I will go back and change that so that it matches. Hey, Deborah, welcome in. Samantha says, leave it. Susan says, hello to everyone in chat. Please remember to hit the thumbs for Pam. Oh, thank you. Because I want this to be, I want it to, well, right now it matches what I have written down. So that's not a big thing. But, you know, like say you're using, my thing was if you're doing this as like, say, a school project, which I'm not, but if you were doing this for like an art project or whatever, and you gave your professor where you got your temps, and the professor decides to spot check, and they go and punch in the date, the year, and the city that you used, if it doesn't match, you know, that could affect your grade. That's where my brain went with that. I know I'm a weirdo, but still, that's like super frustrating because it shouldn't change, because the high should be the high, the low should be the low. 2 months later, if I go back and look at January, the high and the low should be the same. Right? Right. Okay. So that is my question. Samantha says leave it. Okay, but see how definitive that is? You can really see this is January, this is February. And then on this side, it's just harder to see. And I know that it's probably too because it's butted up against that teal. And that teal and that gray are kind of blending in. Lori says leave it and just go with whatever they report the temps on as the day you originally planned. Do only one row of separation. Oh, I can do that. Okay. So like for March, go ahead and do the extra row. So go ahead and do the extra row going forward. But then when I get to November and December, between November and December, go back to the one. That's a good idea because then it would be symmetrical, like, and it won't. Yeah. Kimberly says, I get it. It should be accurate and not change. Exactly. And that's why it went into timeout, because like I grabbed this up on, actually I grabbed it on Thursday, when the weather was cooperating, and I was going to write them all down. And then it wasn't the same on my phone. So I'm like, well, so I decided to wait until Friday. So then I'm like, well, Friday, I'm going to get it all. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to get started. I'm going to film it all up. And then all of them were still different. And I was like, timeout. You're going in timeout. Samantha says she is on the third leg. Awesome, Samantha. You work on it, and hopefully you can get the third leg done this week. That would be great. And if you get it done, I don't know how fast you crochet, but if you can't get it done, don't stress out. Just make sure that you look at your timeline so that you have your goal set where you can have it finished, each part finished, way before your due date. That way you're not stressing out on the 30th and you still have, you know, half the bunny to go or something. That's a good idea, Lori. So just leave it. Don't frog it back out is what she's saying. And then go ahead and do the extra row now, because I haven't done March yet. So go ahead and do the extra row between February and March. And then go forward. And then repeat the one and a half row for December. I could do that. Because once I go forward with March, it's not getting frogged back. Right now would be the time that I could frog it back. Although I would have to make sure to keep my tension exactly the same so that all of my days fall the right way. But so what do y'all think? What say you, chat? Do y'all agree with Lori? Should I just leave it and then just add an extra? Or should I frog it back? Let me know. Let me know what y'all think. I do kind of like Lori's idea because that's less work for me, and it still ends up being symmetrical, and I don't have to frog anything. But let's see if we're going to add any new colors in based on the current highs. Now, I do know we hit some 80-degree days over the past week or so, and in March, so we're going to get some new colors added in. Let's see, 79, 72 to 79 is going to add in grape, which I think I have one day. I do. I've already had one day of grape. Or did we have two? Oh no, we've had a couple of days. So we've had grape here and here. So we've had a couple of days up in the 70s. And then that 80 is going to bring in pale pink. So that's going to bring in one new color. And you know, as long as it stays within, well, I'm doing it by 8 degrees. So as long as it doesn't like change too much. Kimberly says, what decision can you truly live with? I think I could live with what Lori said, just because it will be symmetrical if I do it the same way going like from the November to December, because I hadn't thought about that. So if I do it like that, I think I would be okay with it. And Deborah says, I think as long as it doesn't bug you, leave it. See, it because I had thought about adding the extra row going now, but then I knew that between January and February would absolutely bug me. But Lori gave me a solution by doing the same thing going from November to December. So I think if I do that, I'll be okay and it won't bug me because it'll be the same on either end. So I think I can live with that. That was the other thing that I've been mulling over all weekend. Do I want to frog this back? And I should have just went ahead and done it, because I guess it was when I was about halfway through with February. And I don't remember if I said it during the live, but when I was about halfway through with February, I'm like, you really can't see that separation there. Hey, Gwen, welcome in. How are you today? So I think that's what I'll do. I think I will just go ahead and go and do that. So we still got about 20 minutes. So let me grab my hook and move all these back out of the way. And I will go ahead and work on the next row of this gray so that I will be ready to jump right in. What? Let's put you in a basket. And these little baskets that I picked up for the spa sets, I got these from Dollar Tree. You may have to look high and low and behind stuff, because Jeanette from DIY Creations is where I learned about these little baskets, because I had not seen them at my Dollar Tree. So I went on a search and I found them. Some of them were on the very bottom row, like bottom shelf, kind of pushed back. Some of them were on the top shelf behind a box. So I had to look for them, but I found them. I found several different. They had this one. Then they had like two colors of the, it's not raffia, but two colors of the wicker style basket. And then they also had some that looked like this. I wasn't super crazy about the black stitching, but it's okay. And Lori says the tension will correct itself as you go and the rest of it loosen up. That's true. Okay, so I'm going to go back. So what I'm doing half a row. Where did my notebook go? Where did I set it? Oh yeah, I set it over here. So my total row is 170 stitches. And then for each day, I'm doing 85 stitches. So 85 stitches for each day. So each row is actually 2 days. So that's how I'm doing mine, because 365 days makes a very long blanket. If you're doing one row per color. Now, if I was doing, say, like the moss stitch, that would shrink it down, and that would work. I don't know, because I thought about doing moss stitch, but then all the days are kind of mingled together. But anyway, but yeah, so I'm using lemon peel because I really like the look of the lemon peel stitch. So let me flip my camera back around, and we'll work on this and just chit chat while I get it ready. Or while we have the last little bit. There's no question today because I didn't get it entered. So no Jeopardy question today, just us hanging out chit-chatting for about an hour. Okie dokie. So I need to do another row. So as y'all see, I'm in the middle of a row. So what I'm going to do is I'll have to go all the way down to the end of this one and then come back. So one row is actually going to be this half and then this half, and then we'll end up back right here. So where's my end of the yarn? I have not cut my yarn because I didn't know what color I would need to be joining. So I'm going to take my little stitchy marker here and I'm going to put it right here because that is the stitch that I'm going to end before. So I've just done a single crochet, so now I'm ready to do a double. For those, if you don't know what the lemon peel stitch is, you do a single crochet on top of a double from the row below. So you're just going to work a single. And then in each single crochet from the row below, you work a double. And that's what gives you this really great, I think it's a great texture. You zoom down just one time, turn off autofocus. So for this temperature blanket, I'm using lemon peel stitch because I really like it. It is one of my favorites. Now this particular hook, I do like the Odysseys. This particular one has a teeny piece of the metal that did not focus in. Nope. You can't see it really, but it's got a little teeny tiny dot of the metal that did not get filed down correctly, I guess. And so it catches the yarn. So it's not my favorite one to work with, but the one that I normally use is in the living room, and I didn't want to go grab it. So I'm using this one. This was one of the first hooks I bought from Furls. But the other size that I bought worked great. And I can still work with it. And I may could file it down with like a metal file. I just haven't tried. I've tried with like a metal embroidery, not embroidery, a metal emery board, and that didn't work. I've tried with a paper one. I've tried with sandpaper. So I may just have to toss this one in my go bag, and the next time I'm over at my parents' house, grab one of my dad's metal files that's made to file metal. That's what I mean by metal file. But like right here is where it's not. Can you hear my fingernail hitting it? So it's right there. And there's, yep. Nancy said, can you sand it down? I think I can, just not with anything that I've had here. But it's just got one little piece right here that catches. Lori's going into lurk mode while I pay the bills. Ugh. I would say have fun, but that's not fun. But lurk away, my friend. But I definitely need, I have two of these, two of the Odysseys that have that catch the yarn. I have this one, and then I have an eye hook that both do that. So I will have to, which I also bought because I have this J and the eye, both of the ones that had the little piece that was catching. Both of those I bought duplicates of in another color, and neither of the ones that I bought in the other color have that issue. So if I could, Nancy had asking Lori if she could send her bills. Oh, if that's an option, just let us know. And y'all, if y'all missed Nancy's sale last night, she had her spring sale. She's made up a lot of really cute products, both, either or works. Y'all go check out the replay and see all the really cool stuff she's she has a lot of stuff left over that y'all can buy. That'll either be on her website, or if she hasn't got it on the website yet, just shoot her an email and be like, hey, do you still have this? Because you'll be able to get stuff for Easter or birthdays or Mother's Day. So y'all go check it out. She had a lot of really pretty stuff. Hey, Miguel. He said, hey to me in the chat. Just got home from church. Now he's going to make some lunch and listen. Awesome. Thank you, Miguel. Probably going to be on for about another 10 minutes, and then I'm going to have to go fix myself some lunch because I am hungry. Thanks, y'all, everybody that's tuning in. I know normally I'm live on Thursdays. If you missed it earlier, or the link may, or the comment may still be in there where I posted the other night where we had some bad storms come through. I know they've been going along. I don't even know what all parts of the country. I know in the south and across, but I mean also up a little north of me. So yeah. Lori's answer to, can I send you mine? She's like, not if you want them to get paid. That's right. Hey, you can send them all to me, but that don't mean they're not getting paid. Miguel said, yep, it's been storming in Texas too. I know it was storming in Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri. It's just been, Tennessee, up into Kentucky. But I don't know how, like, to the east of me, I'm not sure how much. I don't know if they've been getting the storms or if they've weakened by the time they've gotten to them. But I know it's just been a hot mess here. And down south, like Alabama, Mississippi, I know they've been getting some, maybe even a little bit down in Louisiana. That's just from like where I've been seeing friends post about it. But these storms here in Tennessee, they've been, these tornadoes a little too close for comfort. So the Wednesday night into Thursday morning, when we had back-to-back storms, my internet provider decided that was a good night to do scheduled maintenance, which is fine. But hello, I needed my internet because I don't have great cell phone service, so I have to use the Wi-Fi. Well, anyway, luckily I did have 1 bar of service, and I was able to get the alerts and the warnings. My sister called because she was watching the news or the weather, and they're like, if you live, and they give you the cities, but they were given street names, and it's never a good sign when one of the streets that they tell you, if you live on this road, take immediate cover, when it's the road that you live on or the road that you can see. Like if you walk out your front door and you look to the right and you can see that road, so one of the storms went from like my sister's house, and then they named a road that is right near my parents and my son's house. And then after it left there, then it gave the road beside my house. So it was it was getting all of us. So yeah, that's not fun. Luckily, I did not have any damage. We did have a lot of rain. We had some flash flooding and lots of water standing. So Wednesday night was a very long night, which made Thursday a very long day, because then we had another round of storms come through on Thursday. So then we also had warnings Thursday night. So it was a lot. It was a lot of weather, and I'm over it. But I was thankful. Last night was fairly quiet, and the night before, so I was able to get some sleep. The storms yesterday came through during the day rather than at night. Lori says, I have a cake in the oven to take to dinner at my son and daughter-in-law's house for dinner tonight. It's making my mouth water and tummy rumble. I may have to fix me some cookies, although a cake sounds really good. I don't think I have stuff to make the cake, though. Like all this stuff. Like if I make a cake, I want it to be chocolate, maybe. Yeah, maybe chocolate. I've been thinking about a chocolate cake with cream cheese icing. That's what I've been thinking about for probably a week. So I guess I'm just gonna have to go get the stuff to make it. Or, I mean, I don't need a whole cake, so if I happen to be somewhere where they have one already made, then I can just buy a piece or snag a piece. But yeah. Right now, everything's sounding pretty yummy because I haven't eaten yet, so I'm getting a little hungry myself. But I wanted to pop on here and try to get this live done beforehand. And then we'll also be able to see if we're going to like the 3, because by doing a row and a half, then I'm going to have one section that's going to have 3 rows. And why am I doing a row and a half instead of just 1 row? Because some of the months, are odd, and so they're going to end in a half. So if I just did 1 row, it would be like this. 1 row is down and back. So that's going to give me, it wouldn't give me anything on the other side. So I have to do at least a row and a half. So that is why a row and a half. But then I would know after I do the first thing of March if I'm going to like this. And it'd be easy enough to frog it back. What do y'all think? You think that's going to be too much of a separation? But I really think that I'm going to need the extra separation for the other side because I think it really needs to have at least 2. And that's the only way that I'm going to be able to get it. So what is everybody's plans for the week? I'm going to be doing the finishing touches on getting all of my spa baskets together. I also have 6 other baskets that I've made. I bought some Pioneer Woman bowls that I found a really great deal on. And then I'm going to put in those a dishcloth or washcloth, whatever people want to use them for. Probably a wristlet keychain. I've got some earrings. And I'm just going to do 6 little not so mystery goodie bags. But I'm going to put them in those bowls. To also have to sell at the event. So the craft show is next weekend. It's a 1-day event. Usually I prefer a 2-day event, but the price was so great for booth on this one that we just really couldn't pass it up. My friend and I share a booth, and the booth fee is going to be like very inexpensive. I think it's $20 a booth. So that's $10 a piece. So, if I can sell at least 1 basket, then I've made my booth fee back and then a little extra. But I'm hoping that I can sell more of them. But if they don't sell, I'm going to put them in my Etsy store because I have not set up just a regular online store. I know I'd mulled that over at the beginning of 2024 about adding a store to my website. And I still may do that down the road, but for right now, I'm just gonna put it in the Etsy store. Several reasons for that, and I know Etsy charges fees, but Etsy also already has the shoppers. They already have the platform to where people can find me. So if I put it there, people can do a search for things and they'll be able to find what I'm selling. Whereas if I just put it in a store on my website, I have to drive everybody to the website to buy that. So for right now, I feel like it's going to be worth it just to put it on Etsy versus on my own website, just for that reason, because they already have the platform, kind of like with YouTube. They already have the platform for the people to see my products. And some of the stuff I'm going to put, like if I have like a mystery box or something, I will probably put that on eBay instead. Now I do have an eBay under my personal name, So I'm trying to decide if I want to keep it that or if I want to change the name or start a new eBay just for Be Creative, because I want y'all to be able to find it easily. But right now it's under my personal name, so I'll have to decide that before I start posting them. But then that way, you know, if you want to go and bid on something, you could. Hey, Miss Kelly. She says, hello, Pam and chat. Well, hello, Miss Kelly. Miss Hi, bring it. Kimberly says she's going to finish an angel hug quilt and make 2 more 124 miniature cookbooks. And y'all, these things are like itty bitty. She sent me a picture and they're so tiny, super duper small. And Sandra says hi to everyone she's missed. She is stringing and breaking beans to put up. Ooh, yum. Yummy. I remember doing that at my grandma's and with my mama sometimes. I haven't done that in ages. Get yourself a big bowl. You got one bowl with the ones to string and break and peel and, or not peel, string and break, and then the other one to toss them in. We're almost done. Just got to go right to there. Izzy said, still here, just busy crocheting. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. And let's see, there's my last stitch. So dun 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 dun. Grab my little hook here, or my hook, my little stitch marker. Okay. Zoom down, down, out. I think I'm going to like that a lot better. This is definitely going to be, you're definitely going to be able to see between the 2 months, but I think I'm going to like that better than here where you really can't see it. Because here it is with 2, but here it is with 1. So the only options are going to be, you're either going to have 1 row in between or 3, like in one section. Because I don't think I could do it to where, I guess I could sit down and see if mathematically it'll work out. Because the reason I did 1.5 is, well, because of the, by doing it this way, it's going to end up to where my last row ends at the end. So like December 31st will end at the end, and then I'll just have my 3 rows of the border. So if I change it up too much, it may be where the 31st ends in the middle. And I didn't want the 31st to end in the middle and then have another row of gray. And then I want my border to be a border. So, and I don't think, but since I did this one this way, I just have to see. I'd have to write it down on a piece of paper and see. Because if I can get it, if it'll work to where I just have 2 full rows, then that'll be fine. But between each, because I know how I want it to end. Y'all know what I mean? But I know by just adding 1 more full row, it'll still work out right, because I'm still ending back at the same spot that I ended. So I know that will work out because I already did the math on that one. So here we got January and February, and then now I'm ready to go into March, which I know it's April. I'm just behind because, you know, I had other projects going on. And then now we're going to go into, we're going to have Pale Pink is going to get introduced, because we did have a day that reached 80 in March. So we have some new colors coming into play. So that'll be fun. Where did my remote go? There it is. Let's change this camera back around. Here we go. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming and hanging out with me. I know this was a weird time and a weird day, but I'm glad y'all were able to come and hang out with me for just a little bit. Hopefully I will be back on this Thursday. As far as I know right now, I didn't see any storms, but it's the South, y'all. It can change on a dime. Let me look. Let me see if I can see the forecast. Okay, so as of right now, Thursday, they're calling for a chance of rain, but no storms, just rain. I can deal with just rain. Friday has storms, but as of right now, no storms on Thursday, so we good. We good. So I should be back on Thursday. And what we will probably be doing on Thursday is getting all these ready to go. Putting them together. Most of them are already together. But just finishing touches of these, finishing touches on the bowls, making sure everything is ready to roll. So, all right, y'all. Let me go back over here. Where is this at? Let me see here. Let me give y'all this right here. So that is for each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all so very much for coming and hanging out with me today. And if you're catching the replay, it's for you as well. Just thank y'all so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. And Miguel got me thinking about food, and Lori got me thinking about cake. So I think it's time for lunch. All right, y'all. Have a fantastic day. Remember, be creative. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye.